Okay, sir, shall we start? Good evening to one and all present here. We welcome you for the third day of workshop. We can start the session with silent prayer. Thank you. Today, we have session on T-test. We have resource person, Professor Prasad Kumar. Professor Prasad Kumar has developed his acumen in diverse field of data analytics. He has been the resource person for workshops in the areas of data analytics, data visualization, model building, business application software, enterprise resource planning, application of statistical packages in management research, and social media analytics. He has publications in Scopus and Web of Science to his credit. He is a faculty in the Department of Management with 17 years of experience. We welcome you, sir, to the session. Over to Professor Prasad Kumar.
Thank you, Professor. Is my audio clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Professor. So a very good evening to one and all. So once again, a warm welcome to the third day of 7 days workshop on data analysis using SPSS. In this session, we are going to learn about the application of SPSS for performing t-test. Before entering into this session today, let me tell you what are the things you are going to learn about. First thing what we are going to learn is how to import an Excel data into SPSS package. And second thing we are going to learn about how to apply t-test for the data given to us. Here, we are going to learn about 3 different t-tests. First one will be one sample t-test. Second one will be a paired sample t-test, or we also call it as 2 sample t-test. And third one, we will call it as independent sample t-test. So these are the 3 things we are going to have a hands-on today. Before moving on to the hands-on session, let me once again remind the participants to download the data sheet which is given to you. So if you have already shared, downloaded the data sheet, and if you're ready for the analysis, then we can proceed with the hands-on session. So to start with, let me tell you how to download an Excel data sheet into your SPSS software package. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Maybe in the previous session, you might have learned about the basics of statistical tools, the basics of SPSS, and how to select statistical tools for the data dependent on the nature of data. Okay. Here, let me tell you how to import an Excel sheet from your system. Whenever we go for data collection, nowadays we all are depending on Google Forms and other online media for collecting data. So when we download the responses from the system, that will be downloaded in an Excel format. Okay, so we are going to download that Excel file into this SPSS software. To download this Excel file into SPSS software, let us go to the file menu. You can just follow me. To download an Excel sheet into SPSS, go to file menu. There you can say open. Then from the pop-up, you can select data. File menu, open data. Open window, open data dialog box will get open. Once you see this dialog box, we need to change the file type. Here, when you see the topmost portion, that will tell you the different folders that are available in our system. Below to this area, you can see two options. One is the file name and another one is the file type. Here in this files of type area, by default, you can see SPSS statistics. Here we are not going to import any SPSS file. We are going to import an Excel file. So we have to change this file type to Excel. When you click on this drop down, you will get a variety of options. From these options, we need to select Excel. After selecting Excel, we need to search for the folder in which we have the data in Excel format. Okay, so I have the data in the desktop. So I'm opening the folder. Yes. Now, whatever may be the Excel sheet I have, that will be listed here. Here in this folder, I have only one data sheet. So it is displaying only one data sheet. So after selecting the data sheet, I can click open. The moment I click open, a small dialog box will open. There we need to tell whether data is in which sheet. By default, if you are downloading from Google Forms or any other online platform, you will have only one sheet as, or only one sheet you will have the data. You can just away click OK. Here, purposefully, I have given two sheets in this sample data sheet. Okay. Now I need to tell the system in which sheet I'm going to work on. Okay. So how do I tell that? Here in this worksheet, you can see a drop down. When you click on the drop down, you can see two sheets. Here in this sample data sheets, I have given only two sheets. If you have more than two sheets in your workbook, then all those things will be listed here. If you have only one sheet in that data book, then only one will be available. Okay. Now we are going to select the second one, role description data. By default, you can see car case. We are not going to work on car case. We are going to work on role description data. After selecting the sheet, then we can tell the system OK. Once we click OK, whatever data we have in that data sheet, that will be downloaded into your SPSS package. Now we got the data from Excel sheet into SPSS software. Okay. Am I going too fast? Are you able to follow me? If you want to slow down me, I can slow down. Okay, thank you, madam. Right. I request participants to open this particular data sheet into your SPSS. So somebody is asking to go slow. Okay, we will try. Once you open the data sheet into your SPSS, we can remove all those unwanted field from the data sheet. I tell you how to remove this unwanted data sheet and how to identify the unwanted things. Before proceeding with that, let me explain you what is this data and how this is going to be used. Okay, sir, I'll go slow. Using a small questionnaire, we have collected a data. And now let me show you the sample questionnaire, and then I'll tell you what is that data and how to proceed with that data. There are 5 seats. Let me check it once again. No, sir, you have only 2 seats in that today's data sheet. One is car case and another one is role description data. I think you might have opened a different file. The file name shared is day 3 data sheet. Day 3 data sheet is the sheet shared with you to work on. Yes. Using this particular questionnaire, that data has been prepared. So this is a questionnaire prepared to identify the role description of employees. Here we have, in the first part, we have the demographic profile of the respondents like age, gender, education. And in the second part, to study about the role description of employees, we have identified 4 different variables. First variable is work-related variable. Second variable is role clarity. Third variable performance related. And fourth variable as growth opportunities. For each of the variables, we have 5 different statements. For each of the variables, we have 5 different statements. So altogether, for studying about these 4 variables, we got 20 statements. So the response for this particular questionnaire is given in your Excel sheet. Okay, so in this questionnaire, we have 20 different statements plus 3 different personal demographic profile of the respondents. Okay, so the data has been collected on a 5-point scale ranging from strongly agree to strongly disagree, where strongly agree is given with 5 points and strongly disagree is given with 1 point. So this is the questionnaire which we have used to collect that particular data. Right. Now I tell you how to identify that unwanted information in your SPSS file. Now let us come back to the SPSS software. Here, the first one, the first variable. Now we are going to work on variable view. In variable view, we can identify these things. Serial number, we are not going to do anything with serial number. So we can remove that variable from this data set. Even if you are not removing, no issues, but we have to keep it in mind. We have one unwanted variable. So for better understanding, let me remove this from the data sheet. For removing this particular variable, I need to click on this row numbers. When I click on this number 1, the entire variable will be selected. After you seeing this entire variable getting selected, then you can click on right click on your mouse and you can say clear. Select the entire row and then right click on your mouse, then click clear. Once you click clear, that variable will be removed. Then you can verify the variable names. In our questionnaire, we had gender variable, age variable, and education variable. Followed by these 3 demographic variables, we have 20 different statements. All those 20 different statements were identified as Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Q20. Okay. So after Q20, we have some different kind of format, V25, V26 up to V37. So those are dummy variables. Okay. Those are dummy variables which we have not created for our analysis purpose. So what we are going to do is we are going to remove all those dummy variables by selecting like this. We can click on the first row and simply we can drag it down till the last one. After selecting this, right click on your mouse, click on clear. The unwanted things will be removed from the system. Now you can see only this 20 statements plus 3 demographic variables. So altogether we have only 23 variables in our datasheet. Okay. Right. How do we know that it is a dummy data? By going to your data view, by moving on to the data view, you can easily identify all those responses will be having some numbers. Those dummy variables, when you move on to your right side, there will not be anything in your data sheet. Instead, you can see a small dot or hyphen. Okay, so that we can identify from our data view. These dummy numbers that can be removed even from here. Click on the column ID, drag it till the last. Select all those dummy variables, right click, click clear. Okay, so things will be removed from the system. This is how you can identify dummy variables from your datasheet. Here it is not working, it seems. Okay, we can remove it from data view. Right. Now the data sheet is ready for further analysis. Now we will go one by one. Before proceeding into this application of t-test, I need to tell you one more thing. I have shown you a small questionnaire which I have used for collecting data. Let me share that questionnaire once again. Right. So if you look into this particular questionnaire, the first 5 statements are related to work-related variable. Second 5 statements are related to role clarity related variable. Likewise, the third, fifth, and fourth 5 statements. Now what we need to do is we need to combine all these 5 statements into one variable. Reason is all these 5 statements are denoting one particular variable called work related. To study this work related factors only, we have coined all these different statements. Okay. To study the role clarity related concept, we have coined all this second 5 statements. So all these 5 statements will be related to one particular variable called role clarity, performance related, work related, and whatever name we have given to it. Now I tell you how to combine all these 5 statements into one variable. For that, again, we are going back to SPSS. Even you can write it on your notepad, like how to convert different statements into one variable. So we have a menu called transform. We have a variable called, a menu called transform. There you can select the first one, compute variable. Transform, compute variable. Once you click on compute variable, you will get a dialog box like this. So using this dialog box, we are going to combine different statements into one variable. So the first variable what we are going to create is work related variable. So I'm going to give the target value as work related. Okay, right. Whenever you give two words in this target variable, there should not be any space between first word and second word. If you are providing any space between this two words, then that will be giving you a warning like there is some illegal character. To avoid that, we can use underscore, work underscore related. Okay, you see to that there is no other space is there in this target variable column. After giving this target variable name, then we can move on to this numeric expression column. Numeric expression column. Here we are going to combine the first 5 statements into one variable. So to combine this first 5 statements, we are using a function called sum. S-U-M, sum. Then open a bracket. Open a bracket. From the left hand side, you can see all the variables, whatever we are using in our questionnaire. Okay, so age, gender, education, and question number 1 to question number 20 is available in this area. From here, we need to select those questions which we are going to convert into one variable. Here, I'm going to select the first 5 questions into this particular numeric expression box. So we need to select one by one. So simply you can double click on this variable. Once you double click on this variable, you can see that variable getting added to numeric expression area. After selecting the first question, we need to add plus symbol. Then add second question. Again, plus. Then third question, plus. Fourth question, plus. Fifth question. So this way, you can add all those questions, whichever you want to create it into one variable. Okay, so work related, to study work related variable, the first 5 statements are asked to the respondents. So that is the reason I have selected question number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then close the bracket, and then we can say okay. Okay. Once you click on OK, you can see an output getting popped up that will tell you data set has been created, and I think the scene is not shared with you. Yes, this is the output. I mean, this is the response you will get once you click on OK. So at the end of this output, you can see execute. Data set name created. So a variable is computed. That variable name is work related. So how that is computed? Sum of question number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the process has been executed successfully. So this message you will get it as a pop-up. Okay. The same way we need to create for the remaining variables also. We have 3 more variables to study. Again, we are going to transform compute variable. Now we can see the same things, whatever we have done previously. Simply we can click on this reset button. So all these information will be deleted. Now we are going to create the second variable, which is called as role clarity related variable. So I'm going to create role underscore clarity. So this will be the sum of question number 6, question number 7, question number 8, question number 9, and question number 10. Right. So one thing we need to keep it in mind, we have to select only from this available list. We should not type it manually. So people will be feeling it comfortable for typing. So when you type the question numbers, that will not work. That has to be selected from this available list only. After selecting the variables, close the bracket, again click on OK. Again, you will get the same output, no issues. That is just a confirmation for us, right? So when you come back to this variable view, you can see those 2 variables have included into our data sheet. Okay, so those two variables have created and included to our data sheet. That will be visible in variable view. The same way, we are going to proceed once again, transform, compute variable, again reset. Now we are going to create the third variable that is called as performance related. So the variable names I am giving it from the questionnaire what we have used for collecting data. Performance related is the sum of question number 11 to 15. After selecting this third 5 questions, click OK. Then we have a fourth variable as growth opportunities. We are going to create the fourth variable, transform, compute variables. Again, one more reset. Now it is growth related. So this will be the sum of last 5 questions. Question number 16 plus 17 plus 18 plus 19 plus 20. You see, we just below to this Q20, you can see the new variables is listed here. So in this way, whenever you have created any variable, you can get it included in your variables list. Okay, then click on OK. Somebody have raised their hand. Narayanan sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, actually ना I have actually sir Excel की फाइल मेरी SPSS में ओपन नहीं हो रही है. मैंने आपको WhatsApp पे क्लिक करके भी भेजा है.
Madam, I am not able to understand Hindi.
Okay. Sir, actually Excel file is not open in SPSS.
What is the message you are getting, madam?
Screenshot also.
You have sent it through WhatsApp, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please check it.
One second, ma'am. One second, ma'am. You have shared in the group, ma'am?
Yes. No. Personally, I have sent you.
8960 or which one, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 8960.
Wait a minute, ma'am. Madam, that data sheet Excel file, you know, that is kept open, madam. You just close it and try it, ma'am. You will get it, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Close that Excel file and then you try to open from your SPSS. That will work, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I did not open in SPS package, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Send the link, sir.
Which link, ma'am?
SPS package link, sir.
Ma'am, SPSS package already, I think it has been given to you, right?
I did not open in, sir, yesterday and work here. So I will join in lately, sir.
Ma'am, you can do one thing, ma'am. You can download it at
yes, sir.
Download it as a trial package.
Okay, sir.
Then you can install it, ma'am. But if you are trying it now, it will be taking more time for you to install.
So, yesterday link. Sir, you were sending yesterday link. Okay, sir.
No, madam. We have not shared any software link, ma'am. We have shared only the data sheet with you.
Data sheet open in data sheet today only, sir. Yesterday, SPS package is not open here, sir.
You have installed SPSS in your system, madam?
No, sir. No install, sir.
Then you have to install and then only you can work on, ma'am.
Sir, which way, sir, installing?
Ma'am, you can go to Google and you can search for the SPSS software package. You can download it and you can use it as a trial package. Okay,
Okay,
so
sir,
that
thank
will ask for license. You can use it as a trial one. You can use for 14 days.
you.
You just install it and you can try, ma'am.
Okay, sir. I will try again, sir. Thank you,
Okay,
sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, coming back. Whenever we create any variables in this way, in data, in variable view, that will be listed in the last variables. So when you look into this particular output, you can see 4 variables are created successfully. So the same thing can be confirmed when we go to data view. We can go to data view and we can move to the right hand side. When you move on to the right hand side, next to question number 20, that is next to last question, you can see the new variables getting created. Okay, so now the system and the data sheet, whatever we have shared with you, is ready for application of t-test. Okay, before proceeding with the application of t-test, let me tell you a small things what we need to consider while we are trying to apply t-test. Right, as I told you, we are going to learn about 3 types of t-test: one sample t-test, paired samples t-test, and independent samples t-test. Once again, somebody have raised their hand. Narayana sir. I think is it by mistake or so no response from him. So it may be by mistake. Okay. All right. So whenever you're trying to apply t-test, for example, a paired samples t-test, the situation in which we are going to use a paired sample t-test is whenever you come to know that the 2 groups which you are trying to combine is from same population, then you can go with paired samples t-test. T-test is nothing but comparing the means of 2 different groups. Okay, so when you find that 2 groups are from the same population, then you can go with paired samples t-test. When you find that 2 groups are from different population, then you can go with independent sample t-test. Okay, when you find or when you want to compare the result of t-test with a particular predefined value, then you can go with one sample t-test. Okay, so this is the thing we need to keep it in mind. Right, so t-test is all about comparing the means of 2 groups. When the 2 groups are from same population, we are going to use paired samples t-test. When the groups which we are going to compare is from different population, then we will use independent sample t-test. Okay, when you are trying to compare the mean value of a variable with a predefined value, then we will go with one sample t-test. For example, the situation in which we are going to use paired sample t-test is, so here most of us are from academic background. So definitely all of our institutions are working on NAAC guidelines and NBA guidelines. So we will be having a concept like remedial classes or tutorial classes or special classes for our weak students, or even for bright students, we will be having an assessment kind of activities. Okay, so in that situation, we will be conducting some special coaching classes. Okay, so before attending this special coaching class, what was the actual level of knowledge of this particular students that we have to measure? After attending a particular kind of session, what was their level of understanding or knowledge? So if that is the case, participants will be same. If it is final year students, final year is the same class students, but their performance will be measured before attending a particular training program and after attending a training program. In that case, we are going to combine 2 groups, but from same population. So that we call it as paired samples t-test. If that students group is from different class, or from different discipline, then we are going to have a independent sample t-test. Okay, so this is a small simple example of how we are or when you are going to apply paired sample t-test and independent sample t-test. Right. Now going back to your data sheet given, we are going to apply. We have got a message. Yes, sir. I'll share you the questionnaire file. Okay. So as I told you, to understand the role description of employees, we are studying about 4 different variables: work related variable, role clarity related variable, performance related variables, and growth opportunity related variable. Now, as a researcher, I want to know when the role clarity of employee is more. Okay, when the role clarity of employee is more. In which situation the performance related or opinion on performance related variable is different. In which situation growth opportunities are found to be higher. Okay, so to apply t-test, we need to identify what type of variable we are working on. Here we are working on variable like scale variable. Okay, to apply paired samples t-test, we need 2 variables. That 2 variables, either it should be both should be ordinal variable or both should be scale variable. Okay, here we are going to combine role clarity and performance related variable. I'm going to combine role clarity and performance related variable. Both are scale variables. Both are scale variables. So condition is satisfied. We can straight away apply this paired samples t-test. So how to apply paired samples t-test is going to analyze menu. Going to analyze menu. Okay. I think scale is not shared. Right. Go to analyze menu. There you can see 4th option as compare means. Okay. Compare means. In that you can see different options like means, one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, one way ANOVA, paired samples t-test. In that list, we need to select paired samples t-test. Once again, I repeat, go to analyze menu, compare means, there you select paired samples t-test. So the condition for paired samples t-test is both the variables should be a scale variable or ordinal variable. So in this variables list, when you scroll down, you can see the variables whatever we want. Here, I'm going to select this role clarity and performance related variable. After selecting these 2, now click on this arrow mark. Okay, even you can select one by one. Simply double click on that variable, whichever you want to add. Okay. Why it is not working? Yes. So we can select one by one. So I have selected role clarity and then I clicked on this arrow mark. So I can see role clarity included into variable 1. Then I have selected performance related and I have clicked on this arrow mark. After clicking on that arrow mark, you can see this performance related variable added to variable number 2. Okay, after including this in the first pair, for a better understanding, we can go to this options button. We can go to that options button. Here you can see your confidence percentage. By default, you can get 95%. If you are going to continue with 95%, you can give it as 95% and you can say the system to continue. Okay, so in most of the cases, we work on 95% confidence level. If you want to increase it, you can increase it. Or if you want to continue with the same level, you can click on continue. Okay, after that, simply we can click on OK button. When you click on OK button, you can see the output getting displayed here. So this is the output which will be generated for paired samples t-test. So this output will be giving you 3 different tables. In our research report, we are not going to use all these 3 tables. We will select only particular variables, particular information from these 3 tables, and we will put it into one particular table. Okay. So let me tell you how to prepare one table which will include all these 3 tables. Okay. For that, we can open an Excel sheet. For that, I have opened an Excel sheet. Yes. Yes, I have opened a small Excel sheet to work on the output given to us. Okay. So what we do is, we are going to combine these 3 tables into one table. Okay, either we can copy the table from SPSS output and we can paste it in Excel sheet, or we can create our own Excel sheet. I am copying the output from SPSS output. Okay, so I have copied the first table from the output. Here, there are many things that we don't want. We can remove all those things. Standard mean error, we can remove. But for the remaining things, we can have it. Okay. So this table, we can extend it. So how we are going to extend is, from the second table. From the second table, we have n value. That n value, we have already got it from the first table, so we can remove it. Now we are going to work on third table. From third table, we are going to take the value of t value and significance two-tailed value. Okay, so to this table, we are going to create 2 more column. One is the t value and another one is the p value. So in the previous sessions, you might have learned about how to interpret the t value and p value. Okay. Now this t value and p value, we can get it from our output. From our output, we have t value as 1.362. That we can put it here, 1.362. P value, we have got it as 0.175. It is 0.175. So we can create a border for this data set. Now the table has been ready. So how do we interpret this particular table as? Right. So now when we are going to write the interpretation, we will make use of this particular table for interpreting the results, whatever we have received. Right. So based on the p value, we will come to a conclusion whether we are going to accept our null hypothesis or we are going to reject our null hypothesis. So we have to frame a null hypothesis, and then we are going to tell whether we are going to accept it or reject it. Okay. So what is the null hypothesis for this particular variables is there is no difference in the mean value of role clarity and performance related variables. There is no difference in the mean value of performance related variable and role clarity related variable. Alternatively, we can say that there is a difference in the mean value of role clarity and performance relative. Okay. All right. So how do we come to know whether we are accepting our null hypothesis or we are going to reject the null hypothesis? So it is going to based on p-value. If p-value is less than 0.05, then we will accept the null hypothesis. If the p-value is greater than 0.05, then we will reject the null hypothesis. So we can give a small function for a better and easy understanding. If this p-value is less than 0.05, then we are giving it as accept the null hypothesis. Otherwise, we are telling the system to display reject. Okay. Now the p-value, whatever we got is 0.175. So 0.175 is higher than 0.05. So with the conclusion, what we can come here is, since the p-value is greater than 0.05, we are rejecting the null hypothesis. So we are coming to a conclusion that there is a difference in the mean value of role clarity and performance related variable. So how to interpret further? We have come to an understanding that there is a difference in the mean value of role clarity and performance related variable. Now coming on one step forward, we can tell or we can interpret that higher the role clarity, higher is the performance of individuals. Or higher the role clarity, higher the performance of employees. So that way we need to interpret the results of this particular output. Okay, if we have accepted a null hypothesis, if the result shows that we are accepting the null hypothesis, we can conclude it by saying that there is no difference in the mean value of role clarity and performance related variables. Okay, so this is how to execute a paired samples t-test for the given data. Once again, I repeat, for executing a paired samples t-test, one condition we need to check it. The variables, whichever we are going to select, that must be either it must be a ordinal variable or it must be a scale variable. Okay, so that is the only condition we need to check for applying a paired sample t-test. And another one is both the group must be from the same population. Okay. Both the group must be from the same population. So this questionnaire has been collected from the same population. The response of the same population is going to be compared here. Okay. So we have applied a paired samples t-test for the data, whatever we have provided with. Now let us look into how to apply independent sample t-test. To apply independent sample t-test, we must have two variables. Okay, one variable, either it should be an ordinal variable or it must be a scale variable. The second variable, it should be a categorical variable. Okay, so as you learnt, it must be an nominal variable. Okay, so first variable should be a continuous variable or it should be a scale variable. Second variable should be either, it should be a nominal variable. Okay, I'll tell you which variable to be considered for applying independent sample t-test. Okay. Now, As I told you, to apply independent sample t-test, the condition what we need to check is, one is about the type of variable, and another one, the group which we are trying to compare must be from a different group. Say, for example, gender is one group. I mean, gender, we have one variable, and in gender, we have two groups, male and female. Okay, and we have male one group and female as another group. So we are going to consider gender as one variable and any of these four variables. For example, wait a minute. Okay. Somebody's mic is on. Balaji sir, can you mute yourself? Okay. Okay, if you have any clarifications, we can do it later. Now we will proceed with the information, progress. Okay. To apply independent sample t-test, we are going to select two variables. One variable should be either an ordinal variable or it must be a scale variable. The second variable, it must be a nominal variable. Okay, that is one condition we need to check while selecting the variables. Okay, the decision of applying this independent sample t-test, that has to be taken when the two groups are selected from different population. Okay, here we are going to consider two variables. One is we can select age variable, and another one we can select performance variable. Okay, we are going to select age variable and performance variable to apply independent sample t-test. So to apply independent sample t-test, again we are going back to analyze, compare means. There we are going to select independent sample t-test. Independent sample t-test. Okay. Now independent sample t-test window will get open. Here you can see two types of variable. One is the test variable and another one is the grouping variable. In this grouping variable, always we need to select the nominal variable only. Okay. Here we are going to select age as a nominal variable. Okay. So age, we are going to select it under grouping variable. Simply click on age and then click on this arrow mark. Once you add that variable to this grouping variable, you can see another tab getting opened, which says define groups. Click on that define groups. Click on that define groups. There we need to tell what is group 1 and what is group 2. Okay, so here group 1 means the we can say that codings. Okay, here in case of education, we have selected as age, right? Yes, in case of age, we have three groups. Okay, let me show the questionnaire. See, when you look at this questionnaire, for age variable, we have three groups. First group belongs to below 25, second group belongs to 25 to 35, and third group is above 35. Okay. Now, in that group 1 and group 2, we need to tell, where it is, yes. In group 1, we need to tell as 1, and in group 2, we need to tell it as number 3. Reason is we have three groups. If you have 4 groups, then you can put it as 4. If you have 2 groups, then you can put it as 2. Okay. Then click on continue, and then we need to select the test variable. So test variable, I'm going to select performance related variable or any variable, role clarity related variable or whatever it may be. So I'm going to select role clarity related variable. Okay. So role clarity is a scale variable. Role clarity is a scale variable that I have selected into test variables column. After this, Simply we can click OK. We will get the output. We will get the output. Right? So we get two tables. In this two tables, we are going to convert it into one table as like what we did for paired samples t-test. Okay, so in this table, in this output, we have got two tables. First table will be the group statistics, and second table will be independent samples t-test. Okay, in the first table, we have the age group and the corresponding sample size, their mean value and standard deviation. We can have it as it is. From the second table, we are going to select the F value and significance value, or even we can select this T values. So T value, even if it is in negative, we need not bother about that negative symbol and all. We can straight away have this values. Okay. Then we have significance two-tailed value. So always we need to consider this significance two-tailed value for interpretation. Okay, here we have two rows in this second output. One will be related to when equal variance are assumed, and second one will be related to when equal variance are not assumed. Always we try to prefer when equal variance are assumed. So when we are trying to come to a conclusion of whether accepting or rejecting the null hypothesis, we always make use of this significance value, two-tailed value. So this is our p value. So here the p value, what we got it as 0.014, which is less than 0.05. So can anyone tell me what is that 0.05? I'm telling you to compare this p value with your 0.05. So how did you got that 0.05? Okay, it is nothing but our level of significance. I told you you have 95% confidence level. You have 95% confidence level. So 100 minus 95, it is 5. So 5 divided by 100, it is 0.05. Okay, so that is as simple as it is. When your confidence level is 99%, then 1 divided by 100, whatever the value it is, that will be that taken for accepting or rejecting the null hypothesis. When you say it is 90% confidence level, then 10 divided by 100, that will be the standard value which we are going to compare. Okay, right. So here the p value, what we got it as 0.014, which is less than 0.05. So we are going to accept the null hypothesis, and we are going to conclude that there is no significant, difference in the mean value of whatever we have selected, performance related, right? So performance is not based on age or whatever variable you have selected. By comparing that x variable and y variable, we can come with an interpretation. So this is related to independent samples t-test. Then we have yes, role clarity. Okay. Oh, we have selected role clarity as a test variable, right? Thank you. Right. So this is a way we need to convert the SPSS output into one table, and we can start interpreting. After creating that one table, then we can draft our null hypothesis, and then we can mention the level of significance. Then we can start interpreting the output. Since the p value is less than 0.05, we accept the null hypothesis at 5% level of significance. And we are coming to a conclusion that there is no relationship between different age group and whatever the second variable, role clarity. Okay, so that way we can proceed. In case if we are rejecting the null hypothesis, okay, in case if we are rejecting the null hypothesis and we come to a conclusion that there is a difference between different age groups, specifically related to role clarity, then we need to tell in which age group that difference is available. In which age group that difference is identified. Okay. And one more thing we need to consider while applying this independence sample t-test is the variable, the nominal variable, whatever we select, that should have only two groups. That should have only two groups. If you have more than two groups, as in our case, we have considered an age group. So age group has three groups. Okay, so we cannot apply for this age group. Instead, if you have more number of groups in your nominal variable, then we have to go with one-way ANOVA kind of statistical tools. Okay, so that we need to keep it in mind while selecting the nominal variable for t-test. Okay, so this is independent samples t-test. The third test, it is called as one sample t-test. One sample t-test, I can give you a small example of how to use one sample t-test. Okay. Okay. I'm going to select the second variable. In this questionnaire, I'm going to select the second statement from work-related variable. So second statement is nothing but I am able to reach the career goal that I have set for myself. So I'm going to select only one variable. Okay, so the name itself, it implies one sample t-test. Okay, now I'm going to apply one sample t-test for this particular statement. I'm considering only one statement for this particular analysis. Okay, I am able to reach the career goal that I have set for myself. So what I'm going to trying to understand is whether the opinion for this particular statement is below average or above average or equal to average. Okay, I want to know how the respondents have responded. Their response is above average or below average or equal to average. Okay, how do I know what is the average? When we take the average of this 5 points, we will get it as 3. That is 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, 5 plus 4, 9, 9 plus 3, 12, 12 plus 2, 14, 14 plus 1, 15. 15 divided by 5, that is equal to 3. So the average is 3. I am going to check whether the opinion of all these respondents are equal to this average 3 or it is above average or below average. Okay, that I'm going to demonstrate it now. Going to SPSS. Okay, again going to analyze menu. Going to analyze menu. There again compare means. There I'm going to select one sample t-test. There we are going to select one samples t-test. Now you can see one sample t-test window is getting open. There I'm going to select question number 2 into test variable. Question number 2 into test variable. Okay. Then you have something called test value. Test value is nothing but 3. So how do we got that 3? That is the average. Okay. Here we have used a 5-point scale to collect the response. So I'm taking the average of that 5 points. If you're using a 7-point scale or 10-point scale, then average of that 7 points or 10 points has to be mentioned in this test value. Okay. After selecting the test variable and the test value, simply click on OK. Output will be generated. So 2 table again it will be generated. Now let us look into the output. So this is the one sample t-test output, which we got it from the SPSS. Now we are going to understand the nature of response that is given by our participants. Okay, how do we come to know whether the opinion of respondents are equal to average or above average or below average? It is very simple. By simply comparing the mean value from this output, we can have a better understanding. Okay, so that we can confirm it by looking into the significance value. Okay, so whatever statistical tool we are going to use, we will make use of a hypothesis. We will frame a hypothesis and then we work on that hypothesis. Here for this particular statement, this is related to a career goal, right? Okay, so we can frame the null hypothesis as the opinion of respondents reaching the career goal is equal to or not equal to average. Okay, always we have null hypothesis, right? So the opinion of respondents reaching their career goal is not equal to average. Okay, right. Now we are going to come to a conclusion whether we are going to accept the null hypothesis or reject the null hypothesis. So we are looking into this significance value. Significance two-tailed value, here it is 0.000. When we take it for interpretation, we need to take it as 0.001. Okay, so this p value 0.001 is less than 0.05. This 0.001 is less than 0.05. So we are accepting the null hypothesis. Okay, so what is our null hypothesis? The opinion of reaching the career goal is not equal to average. How do we confirm this? We can confirm this mean value. We can take the mean value and we can compare with the test value. Mean value, what we got it here is 3.81. When you compare this 3.81 with the test value 3, that is not equal. Okay, so instead what happened? It is a higher value. The mean value, what we got it as higher than the test value. So the average is 3. I mean, the test average is 3, but the result average is 3.8, which means that, which is very close to 4. So we come to a conclusion that the opinion regarding reaching career goal is above average. The opinion regarding reaching career goal is above average. Okay, so this way you can execute one samples t-test. Okay, right. So now I request any one participant to share your screen. Reason is I have given you one more data set to work on. If you're comfortable, you can share your screen and you can work on based on the instructions given by me. So whoever is ready to share your screen, you just raise your hands. The host will permit you to share your screen. The data set is available in the same Excel sheet shared for today's practice. So far we have worked on role description data. Now we are going to work on the second data, which we call it as car case. So whoever is interested, they can raise up. Yes, Narayana sir have raised his hand, but I'm not sure whether he is interested to share his screen.
Sir, I am interested because I didn't understand because earlier I have not opened the Excel sheet, SPSS sheet. That's why I'm asking.
Now it is okay, comfortable for you, no ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, then I will make you to share your screen. Now you can share your screen, madam. Shruti ma'am also expressed her interest. Yes, that's good. So Narayana ma'am came on line.
Is it visible, sir?
Ma'am, your WhatsApp account is visible.
Okay, everything is. It's visible my desktop.
Yes, madam.
Okay.
You can open this SPSS file, ma'am.
This one.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Now what is this, sir?
Wait for a minute, ma'am. Let me complete it and then I can come back to you. Professor Ravindran sir, it is there in our WhatsApp group. You can download the data sheet.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So here we have a small case to work on. So we have 20 more minutes time. So this is the case study given to us. So this has been taken from the NISD question paper. So we will have a small understanding on how to use one sample t-test, paired samples t-test, and independent sample t-test. Indian Oil have developed a formulation with increased use of ethanol in petroleum products, which increases engine efficiency with less harmful emissions. 35 cars were test driven with and without ethanol, and the number of kilometers per liter were recorded. The cars used for the test were having either automatic transmission or manual transmission. Okay, from this case, what information is given to us is Indian Oil have developed a methodology to test or to increase the efficiency of vehicles. They are using ethanol with petroleum. Okay, so the two different cars which they are using is, one is the automatic car and another one is the manual car. Now what they are trying to identify is, they have come out with a test drive. Test drive has taken at two different times. One is they have used only petrol. They have collected the average mileage given by 35 cars. And second time, they are adding ethanol to the petrol, and again they are trying and recording the average mileage given by 35 cars. Okay, so the data has been given in this particular table. So this data I have given you in the other sheet of the data sheet shared to you. Okay, from there you can take this data. By keeping this data, we are supposed to answer 3 questions. Okay, additional information given to us in this case is, the earlier trial shows that mean number of kilometer per liter is 12. Earlier trial means when they are testing the vehicle with only petrol, the average mileage given by the vehicle is 12 kilometers per liter. Okay, now they have added some amount of ethanol to the petrol, and they have again tested the cars, and the mileage given by the cars are given in the table. Okay, so for a better understanding, the first row of this table is having the type of car. 1 denotes manual car and 2 denotes automatic car. Okay, sorry, I have coded differently. 1 denotes automatic car and 2 denotes manual transmission car. Second row gives the data related to mileage when ethanol is added to the fuel. When ethanol is added to, the mileage of vehicles are noted here. Third row, that gives the mileage of vehicles without ethanol. Mileage of vehicles without ethanol. Okay. Now we need to download this particular sheet into your SPSS software. Madam, now you can share your screen, madam. Or anybody who are interested, they can share their screen. Narayana ma'am, can you hear me? I think she is not available.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can share your screen, madam.
Okay, sir. Please provide me data sheet.
A data sheet, the same data sheet, ma'am, which we are using for today.
Okay.
That is available in the second
This
sheet.
one?
Your screen is not visible, ma'am.
The screen is not visible.
Yes, ma'am. You have not shared it.
Is it visible?
Your screen is now visible, madam.
Now, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
This one is okay.
Right. Please just follow my instructions, madam.
Okay.
Open a new SPSS file, madam. Others also can follow the same instruction. You can open a new data file. New data. Yes, right. So now you got a new SPSS file. To this file, we are going to download the data, whatever I gave to you. Okay, go to file menu. Go to file menu, open data. Right. Select the file type as Excel. Select day 3 data sheet, click open. Wait for a minute, madam. Let others also follow. As I told you, we need to select the sheets. Okay, you can see the first option as a worksheet. By default, the data sheet has been selected. If any other data sheet has been selected, you just change it to car case. Now you click on OK.
Sir, can I click on OK?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. You click on OK. Now you can see the data has been downloaded to your SPSS software. Go to variable view, madam. Go to variable view.
Sir, where is it?
Okay, down, ma'am. Down, ma'am. Downside bottom. Yes. Now we can see 3 types of variables are created. I mean, 3 variables are created. So first variable is car. Second variable is mileage with ethanol. And third variable is mileage without ethanol. Okay. We have given with some values for the car. We are using 2 types of car. One is automatic car and another one is the manual car. Now we need to define values for this car variable. So define values, madam. Go to values column. Click on that none, ma'am. Yes. Click on that right there box. Yes. Right. So value 1 means automatic. In value area, you type it as 1 and give the label as automatic.
Automatic.
Yeah,
Label.
automatic. Type it and then give, ma'am.
Is it? Sir, sahi, is it okay?
No, ma'am, not it completed.
Again, I have to do.
No. You just click on that blue color box. Yes. Click it on. Give the value as 1 and label as automatic. You type it, ma'am.
Can
Yes,
I type?
automatic. Yes, ma'am. You need to type.
2 or
No,
1?
no. Automatic. Automatic.
Achha,
It
okay,
denotes the type
automatic.
of car.
Automatic.
Automatic. Yes. Then click on add. Then value number 2. Value number 2 is assigned for manual cars. Yes. Click on add. Right. We have only 2 types of car. Then click OK. Right. Now data is ready. So car is a nominal variable. Car is a nominal variable. Other 2 variables are scale variable. Other 2 variables are scale variable. Now what we need to understand here is we need to answer questions given to us. The first question given to us is test whether second trial efficiency of car is better than the previous trial. Test whether second trial efficiency of car is better than the previous trial. Previous trial means when the vehicle's efficiency is tested without ethanol. Without adding ethanol, when the efficiency of engine is tested, it gives some average mileage. Now they have added some ethanol to the petrol, and now they are testing the mileage of the vehicles. Okay, we need to understand whether second trial efficiency is better or first trial efficiency is better. For this question, we are going to make use of. I told you the situation in which we are going to sample t-test is whenever we are going to compare the mean value with any predefined value. Here, the predefined value is 12. That is given in our case. In our case, it is given that earlier trial shows the mean value of 12. Okay, so we are going to use one sample t-test as our statistical tool for measuring or for getting the answer for first question. Yes, ma'am. Now you can go to analyze menu. Analyze, compare means. There you can select one sample t-test. Okay. Now, second trial. Second trial means after adding ethanol. Now we need to select with ethanol into test variable. Yes, ma'am. Very good, ma'am. Now come down to test value. Test value, it is given as 12. In our case, it is given as 12. So we can mention it as 12. Okay. Now this is okay. Now we can simply click on OK button. Now we will get the output. Yes, good. You maximize this window, ma'am. Maximize this output window, madam. Maximize this window, madam.
Okay, maximize.
Yes. Now you can scroll down. Yes. So this is the output we have got it. Okay. Now, how do we identify whether second trial efficiency is better or first trial efficiency is better? As I told you, in case of one sample t-test, we are going to compare the mean value with the test value. Here in this case, the mean value, what we got it as 16.77. From the first table, we have the mean value that is given as 16.77. You compare this mean value with your test value. What is the test value we got? It is 12. So 16.77 is greater than 12. So how do we come to a conclusion is, when the vehicle is operated with only petrol, without adding ethanol, it is giving only 12 kilometers as an average mileage. Now, when ethanol is added to the petrol, the average mileage given by the vehicle is 16.77. So we come to a conclusion that when adding ethanol to the petrol, the vehicle's efficiency is getting improved. So that is the answer for first question. The efficiency of engine is getting increased when ethanol is added to the fuel. That is the answer for question number 1. So this question has been answered using one sample t-test. Okay. Madam, now you can stop your screen, ma'am. Let others also get an opportunity to share their screen, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
So else can share. Anybody else would like to share? And madam have showed their interest. Yes. Nafal. Shruti ma'am, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Then you can share your screen, ma'am.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Right. Now I tell you the question number 2. Question number 2 is whether efficiency of engine improves with added ethanol. Whether efficiency of engine improves with added ethanol. Here, to answer this particular question, we are going to make use of paired samples t-test. When I giving an introduction to paired samples t-test, I told you the two groups must be from same population. The two groups which we are going to combine or compare must be from same population. Here we are going to compare the mileage given by the vehicles when ethanol is added and when ethanol is not added. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Now you can go to analyze menu. Compare means paired samples t-test. For applying paired samples t-test, both the variables which we are taking into consideration must be a scale variable. Here, in our case, mileage with ethanol and mileage without ethanol, both are scale variable. So we can confidently apply paired samples t-test. So select both the variables to variable 1 and 2, madam. Click on the arrow mark, madam. Yes. Now select the second one. Good, ma'am. Simply click OK, madam. We can get the output. Ma'am, you need to reshare your screen. You need to share your output screen. You can stop sharing the screen. Yes, ma'am. Good, ma'am. Right. Now we have 3 tables as output. First table will be giving you the statistics. Second table will be giving the correlation value. And third table will be giving you the significance values. Right? Right. So to the given case, the question what we got is whether efficiency of engine is improved with added petrol or not. Okay. So how to come to the conclusion by this 3 tables? One thing we need to consider here is the mean value, the sample size, the correlation value, and we can also have the significance value. Okay. So significance value will be available in third table, SIG two-tailed. SIG two-tailed, here we got it as 0.001. So 0.001, when it is compared with 0.05, it is less than our 0.05. So we are going to accept the null hypothesis. What is our null hypothesis?
There is no difference between ethanol and without ethanol.
Very good, ma'am. The mean value of samples with ethanol and without ethanol, there is no difference, right? So we are accepting the null hypothesis. What is that we are going to do? 0.001 is less than 0.05. So what can be our conclusion, madam?
Yes, there is no difference.
There is no difference.
Yes, sir.
Statistically, the result shows that there is no difference. But when you compare the mean value of vehicles with ethanol and without ethanol, you can see a difference in your average mileage given by the vehicles. When ethanol is added, the mean value of your vehicle's mileage is 16.7. When petrol is added without ethanol, the mean mileage, what you got it as 15.26. So there you can see a difference of 1.5 kilometers a difference in the average mileage given by the vehicles. So we need to come to a conclusion that even though the significance says that we are accepting the hypothesis, when you compare the mean value, we are seeing a significant difference when ethanol is added to the petrol. Okay. So to confirm this, we can go with the third type of t-test. So third type of t-test, what we can perform is our third question, whether efficiency of engine with and without ethanol, differs between manual and automatic cars. We are putting it in a little complicated way. Whether efficiency of engine with and without ethanol differs between manual and automatic cars. Now we need to test that using independent sample t-test. The reason why we are going with independent sample t-test is we are going to check whether these mileage given by automatic cars and manual cars are varying when two types of scenarios are given. Okay, right. Now anybody else is interested to share the screen, or we will continue with madam? Okay, we will continue with madam because we will be running out of time. Go to analyze menu, compare means. Now we can select independent sample t-test. Right. We have grouping variables. Always the grouping variables must be the nominal variable. So here in this three variables, car is the nominal variable. Yes. Once we have selected cars to grouping variable, we need to define the groups. Group 1 is 1 and group 2 is 2. Yes, that's it now. Click continue. Right. Now we need to select the second variable. Second variable, you can include both with ethanol and without ethanol. We are going to make a comparison between the performance of vehicles. Select both the variables, madam. Click OK. Output will be generated. Now we are going to have a comparison. How we are going to make a comparison is in the first table in group statistics, we had we have two rows. First row will be giving you the mileage of vehicle with ethanol. Second row will be giving the mileage of vehicles without ethanol. Okay, so without ethanol results is the first trial. With ethanol is the second trial. Now you just compare the mean value of results when ethanol is added and when ethanol is not added. In the first table, you can compare the mean value of automatic cars. You just see.
Yes, sir, it's more.
Yes. So when ethanol is added, the average mileage given by automatic cars is 16.71. The same automatic cars, when it is operated without adding ethanol, their average mileage is 14.86. So there you can see a huge difference in the average mileage generated by automatic cars. The same way, we can also compare the mean value of manual type of cars. Manual type of cars, when they are tested without ethanol, their average mileage is 15.86. When the same manual car is tested with added ethanol, their efficiency is 16.86. So there you can see 1 additional kilometer increased when ethanol is added. So we come to a conclusion that when ethanol is added to the petrol, the efficiency of both manual and automatic cars is getting improved. When ethanol is added to petrol, both the type of cars, automatic and manual cars, their efficiency is getting improved. So in this way, we can make a comparison and we can come to an understanding whether we are able to see some sort of improvement or not. Okay, so here we are not going to test of, we are not going to consider these significance tails and all. Simply, we are going to compare the mean values of the two different variables. Okay, so this way we can make use of an independent sample t-test for analyzing the data, whichever is given to us. Now we have come to the end of the session. So if you have anything to be clarified, then we can do it now.
Shall I stop sharing, sir?
Yes, madam.
Shall I stop sharing the screen?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Nagarajan sir, measure this shows that nominal, but it has to change as scale. For applying independent sample t-test, one variable must be nominal variable. The other variable should be either it should be an ordinal variable or it must be a scale variable. So selecting nominal variable is mandatory. Only then the grouping variable will work on. Any other questions, sir? Chandrakala, madam.
Sir, can you
Jyoti
explain?
ma'am, you have doubt? Yes, ma'am.
Cohen's D and H coefficient.
I'm not able to get you.
Can you tell me what about Cohen's D and H coefficient? It's
Wait a minute, ma'am. Shruti ma'am, can you share your screen once again?
Cohen's D and H correction, you get it in the effect sizes, right?
Please wait for a bit, ma'am.
Okay.
From this output, you are asking, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
What is that, ma'am?
In all these tests, no, you get this effect sizes, Cohen's D and H correction. The effect sizes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It's not there in this output, but some other test earlier we had got that.
Scroll up the screen, ma'am. So here it is not available.
The effect sizes, sir, in the test you get that.
I know in which output it was visible.
Okay.
Just come down, ma'am.
No, it's not visible in these. The earlier example sir had given, it was there. The simple t-test, one sample t-test.
One sample t-test, ma'am.
Mhm.
Go to one sample t-test, madam. The first one. This one, madam.
No. It comes, if we specify for that, I think so, effect sizes. In the analysis t-test, if we opt for effect sizes, we get that. So
Okay.
if you run the analysis and t-test once again.
Okay. You just execute it, ma'am.
Okay.
One sample t-test you want, ma'am.
Yeah, anything, any sample t-test, you get that Cohen's. If you go for analyze,
Okay.
compare means, and any type of test, okay, if it is independent sample also, you can go for that.
Mhm.
And if you select the estimate effect size, if you check for estimate effect sizes, we get that.
Okay.
Could you please guide? Is the screen visible? I
Yes,
have
ma'am,
selected
visible.
one sample t-test. Could you please guide after?
Ma'am, what we have done is we have
Hmm.
just given the input alone. We have not done anything apart from giving input.
Okay.
So if you want additional features, you can go to that Bootstrap. There you can specify whatever you want to get it.
Okay, sir.
Then, but in variable view page, no need to change Mr. Color. No issues, sir. No issues. We can continue with the same thing. Explain t-test in one sample. T-test. Independent t-test should have two option questions as one variable. Ravindran sir, can you unmute and raise your question?
Sir?
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
So normally in research says, comparing to the ANOVA and independent t-test, if you have questions like gender, marital status, where we have only two options, we can go for independent t-test, and for multiple variable, we can go for ANOVA or that's like that.
Yes. Yeah, that is what I told you in the beginning. The variable, whichever you select, should have only two groups. In case of gender, you have male and female, only two groups. If you have
So
a
it
third
applies for
gender,
the one sample t-test also?
no. Only for independent sample
Only for
t-test.
independent t-test. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you have given multiple multiple options for gender, like male, female, and third gender, then we cannot apply that variable here. We have to go for one way ANOVA. The same way in case of marital status, if you have given only single and married, then you can apply this independent sample t-test. If you have given any more options, if it goes beyond 2 options, then we have to go with one way ANOVA.
Okay.
Any other questions? So no questions?
Sir, please clarify the test value in one sample t-test.
Test value in one sample t-test.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Wait a minute, ma'am. So this is the one sample t-test output, madam. You're asking about this test value, madam?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to clarify how this 3 has come?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have used a 5-point rating scale to collect data for my research.
Okay.
So this test value can be the average of that 5-point scale. So in an average of 5-point scale, 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 divided by 5. So that way we got it this 3 value. If we are using a 7-point scale for collecting data, then 7 plus 6 plus 1 up to 1 divided by 7. So whatever is the average, that we can take it as test value.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, good evening, sir. I have a query, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, sir.
Sir, if there are 2 different groups, for example, I'm giving 2 different interventions to 2 different groups, and I want to compare which intervention is effective in the groups. In that case, shall we use independent t-test, sir?
No, you have to go with paired t-test.
Okay, even if the groups are different, we should do with paired t-test.
Yes, you are talking about. Let me just tell me whether I have understood the question in the right way. You have 2 different types of training program. You're applying it for 2 different population or same population, sir?
2 different population, same variable, sir. For example, reduction of lower back pain. That is my objective.
Okay.
Different population.
So
in that case, shall we use independent t-test or a paired t-test, sir?
Then you will be having module 1 or module 2, or as I told you, it may be like training 1 or training 2. Correct, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can go with a paired samples t-test, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Fine. Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Please clarify lower and upper column in t-test output. What is it?
Wait a minute, ma'am.
Lower and upper column.
Wait, ma'am. Okay, so in this one sample t-test, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. As I told you, we will be having some confidence level. I have told you that we have taken the confidence level as 95% as confidence level. So in that 95% of confidence level, so the upper limit of confidence level is 96. That is a 0.96. And lower limit is 0.67. When you take the confidence level as 99%, so this upper limit and lower limit will get varied. So this upper limit and lower limit will be the range between which our mean difference will be lying on.
Range between mean difference.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Please explain once more.
Madam, if you see in this particular table, our confidence interval is 95%.
Yes.
Okay, madam. For this 95% confidence level, so what is the upper mean limit and what is the lower mean limit? So here we have got the mean difference as 0.81. So this 0.81 will be differing between 0.67 and 0.96. So our confidence, based on our confidence level, the mean difference will not move beyond this upper limit, and it will not go below this lower limit.
Confidence level.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anything else, madam? Anything else, sir? Over to Maxim, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for the fruitful session and more practical oriented. So we end the session here. Tomorrow we can begin session at the same time, 5:30 for day 4. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you for your patience listening.